At my son's birthday party, the laughter was sharp. Not warm, not joyous, sharp, like glass splintering against stone. I stood in the middle of the living room, surrounded by balloons, half-eaten chips, and the suffocating weight of their presence. Her family. My ex-wife's brothers, her cousins, her father, all clustered together, wine in their hands, fake smiles curving into open sneers. "Look who crawled out from under a rock," one of them jeered. "Still unemployed, still worthless." Their laughter roared louder than the children screaming near the cake table. I didn't flinch. I let the insult hang in the air like smoke, choking but familiar. Then, small fingers tugged at my shirt. My son. He leaned close, so close I felt the tremor of his voice against my ribs. "Baddie." He always said it that way. Too young to get it right, too honest to know the weight of words. "Uncle Mike has a gun in his car. I don't feel good." I froze. The laughter around me blurred into a low, mocking hum. My son's next words cut deeper than anything they'd ever said. "Mom told me, after the cake, you won't be coming home." And in that instant, the balloons, the cake, the mocking faces, all of it vanished into silence. Only his voice remained, and the storm it carried. I knew what betrayal felt like. I had tasted it before, when the papers were served, when custody was reduced to weekends, when she replaced my name with another in my son's bedtime stories. But this was different. His whisper had a weight to it, the kind that doesn't belong to a child but is forced into them, spoon-fed like poison. Her family's laughter returned to focus. They thought they were winning. They thought my silence was defeat. But inside, something shifted. I scanned the room, my eyes catching hers across the crowded kitchen. She stood near the counter, pretending to fuss over plastic plates. But her eyes were fixed on me, watching too closely. Beside her, Mike, her new husband, her knight, her savior, clapped another cousin on the back, laughing with a confidence that wasn't earned, but borrowed. And in that glance, in that heavy silence between us, I understood. This wasn't just cruelty. This was orchestration, a setup, a party designed not for a child's birthday, but for a man's erasure. I kept smiling. I cut the cake with steady hands. I sang along to the birthday song. I wiped frosting from my son's cheek. On the surface, I was every bit the powerless, broken father they wanted me to be. But inside, I was gathering pieces. I remembered the late-night calls that always ended when I answered. The receipts I'd found tucked behind the car seat when I still had weekend custody. Motel addresses 2 towns over. The way Mike never looked me in the eye, but watched my son too closely, like studying something he already owned. I started pulling threads, quietly. A search here, a phone record there, a DNA kit mailed under a different name. Patience, precision. The results weren't immediate. Suspense never is. But each piece slid into place with surgical inevitability. Her son wasn't mine, not by blood. Her son, the boy who whispered danger into my shirt, who clung to me as if I were the only anchor left in his storm, was Mike's. And still, he called me Dad. That truth burned deeper than betrayal. The envelope came 2 weeks later. Small, harmless looking, but heavy as a weapon. I didn't rip it open. I unfolded it slowly, clinically. Each word printed on that paper confirmed what my silence already knew. Not mine. I carried it with me like a shard of ice, not in my pocket, but in my mind. When the next visit came, I didn't confront her immediately. I waited. I let the weekend play out. Soccer in the yard, cartoons on the couch, his laughter cutting through the lies. Then, on Sunday evening, when she came to collect him, I handed her the envelope. No words, just the truth, placed in her palm. She faltered. Her face collapsed in on itself, folding through shock, fear, shame. She opened her mouth to speak, but nothing came. I stayed still, composed, detached. For the first time, she was the one scrambling for breath. Mike came storming in minutes later, rage already lit. He demanded to know what I'd done, how I dared. His voice thundered through the small house, shaking picture frames. I didn't answer him. I didn't need to. Instead, I turned to my son. "Do you want to go with him?" I asked quietly, "or stay here tonight?" The room froze. Her, him, all their bluster paused, hanging on the boy's small voice. And he answered without hesitation, "Stay with you." Mike's fury cracked into something weaker. She broke into sobs that didn't reach her eyes. Their fortress crumbled with a child's single choice. I didn't gloat. I didn't roar. I simply gathered his things, zipped his small backpack, and walked past them both. Calm, icy, final. The drive was silent. My son leaned against me, already half asleep, trusting me without needing to ask why. In that quiet, I understood. Blood didn't define him. Betrayal didn't erase me. Her lies didn't cage me. I had been waiting for permission to let go. And now, with the truth laid bare, I didn't need permission anymore. When I tucked him into bed that night, his hand found mine before his eyes closed. For once, I didn't feel the storm. I felt clarity. They wanted to erase me. Instead, they erased themselves. And as I turned out the light, the thought settled like stone in my chest. I wasn't worthless. I was undeniable.